So something I really love to do with Riley is hide and seek in a sense. It's not really hide and seek, it's more like the nice thing about having a big house is that sometimes when I'm just walking around and she follows me, if I'm ahead of her, sometimes I just randomly like duck behind a door and I just stay there really still, and then I just like it's funny to me when I hear her walking around and stopping and I can just picture her face like she doesn't know where I went. So I do that very often around the house, and then when she kind of like finds me, I kind of like get her ramped up so she runs back into this living room, and then I go somewhere else to hide. And I just find it so much fun, but the thing is, it's so hard for me to capture that because I do it really randomly. And when I'm thinking of like visualizing and recording her reactions, I want like up close shots of her face, or I want those shots where she just like walks into a room, stops, and then she's like looking around and confused. But all of that is so hard to set up with one camera, so I don't know if I'll ever really be able to capture it. It's just something I always really liked to play with her, where I just vanish. I hide behind a door, I just like stand behind a wall, I just hide behind the hamper, stuff like that. And then just her face when she finds me, it's like a mix of like surprise, or it's like, what the fuck are you doing behind the door kind of thing. Good morning, it's Saturday, and I have decided that I've kind of been craving some bubble tea these past few days, and since I haven't gotten it, it's the right time this morning to go get some. And then after that I can detour over to Del Mar as usual and walk Riley. I'm very boring, I know, but the thing is, I have the condo viewing at 1 o'clock, and I checked the map actually. It only takes 30 minutes to get to the condo, even though I am going west, which is the opposite direction of where the condo is. But doesn't matter, today's a nice day as usual. It might even be warmer than the weekday, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. So I have very dry skin, and I've always been lazy to put on lotion, and my biggest complaint when it comes to dry skin is that this area of my thumb is always super cracked, and then my skin in general is just not very good at staying moisturized. And the thing is, every time I put on lotion, I hate the sticky feeling that you get on your palm and stuff. And then when I touch my phone, I get the lotion all over it. But the thing is, maybe I've been stupid and I need to literally rub my hands until the sticky feeling goes away. I'm not exactly sure, because I can't imagine this feeling going away. Like, ideally, I want it to be as if there's nothing on your hands. I don't know if that's possible. There should be a product out there that does that. So if anybody knows of a very good hand lotion that soaks into your skin so that there's no residue, let me know, because I have major dryness problems with my hands, and I've always just gone without lotion because I hate the feeling. Even though it looks so bad, like my hands are so ugly because they're just cracked and dry. Okay, so forgive the AC if it's a little loud. I have it on higher because Riley's in the back and I don't want her baking. I'm gonna be leaving soon, but so I came to bubble tea, got my bubble tea, and since I feel like I was cutting my time a little short, I didn't think I was able to go to Del Mar, because that would be an additional 15 minutes, and then from Del Mar it would be like a 30-minute drive to the condo, and I didn't have time like that to spare, especially if I wanted to have a walk with her. So I just decided to walk Riley around this area. It's not really an exciting area, but whatever, the day is nice, the walk was decent, and I have my drink. And actually, since I had a little bit of time to spare, I decided to stop in the gun store because it's right next to bubble tea actually, and I've always passed by it. The only time I've ever shot guns was with my college boyfriend, and it was like a date thing, and I kind of suggested it because I do think guns are cool. I just don't have a lot of experience with them, and honestly, my main interest in them would be for self-defense, because there are times where I get a little spooked after maybe watching a crime movie and thinking about murder and stuff like that. So it would be for self-defense, because right now at home, since I live by myself, you know, if someone were to come in and do something, I don't really have anything. I'm very small. Any man can overpower me. So my idea was just possibly in the future I would have one for self-defense. So I stopped in to ask what the process is like and what the cost is. And it seems like it's pretty cheap. I mean, you take a test, which is mostly written, and it seems like the license itself, or that process, is like $25 or something. Forgive me if I'm wrong about any of this. I was just kind of asking very basic questions because I wasn't interested in buying. I just wanted to ask the process. But he did say that California, it's illegal to have a concealed weapon. So that kind of solves my problem with, if I were to carry a gun, it would be useless unless it was on my body. And since you can't actually even carry it, then it's whatever, right? Just gonna turn it up a little more. But yeah, basically he showed me revolvers, but I'm not really interested in revolvers because they have like 5 to 6 rounds and then you have to reload. He showed me some semi-automatics, and they seem to run around upwards of, well, they seem like they start around like 550 and up, so that would probably be the kind that I'm interested in. The thing is, those don't have a safety, so I mean, it's not like I don't intend on having a kid, so accidents can happen, and just by myself I would probably keep it in a lockbox loaded, so that wouldn't be an issue. But I have no idea if this is something I plan on doing anytime soon. $575 or whatever is a lot of money, so well, maybe if I bought a house or something and I wanted to feel safe, but that's probably not within the year. So just something I was curious about. And something that I do find very cool though is sniping. I used to play Halo 2 when I was in high school, and I love the idea of sniping. It's like, just seems so skilled. In real life, it's different than the video games, of course, because you have to consider stuff like wind and distance and then the bullet curving and stuff like that. So I just think it would be really cool if I could go somewhere and practice sniping, but I don't think that's available to civilians, so forget that idea. But I am going to head over to the condo now and check out the neighborhood. Alright, so I am here early, and apparently the guy is running a little late, so whatever. I wanted to get here early to look at the area, but actually I am somewhat familiar with this because I've driven by here going out hiking or going to the Barona Reservation. This is actually kind of close to the Barona Reservation, so after this maybe I'll stop by there to see if there's less people where I went last time to play fetch with her, because if it is, it would be a nice little detour to go to. And you know, I do think I worry a little bit too much about being scolded, but it's kind of just who I am. I do naturally like to follow the rules. It's just, this is the one rule I feel intent on breaking, because you know, I don't bother anybody else. If I were to play fetch and there's somebody nearby, I would try to go further away. That way I'm just farther, they feel safe about her being off leash and stuff like that. So I just remember that day there were a couple of those Barona trucks, you know, it's like those forest ranger kind of trucks that has the label on them and then they drive around. So there were a few of those that day that drove past me. I mean, I don't know if they necessarily saw me because not everybody is as attentive as I am. So I was kind of like tucked in the back by myself. So if people aren't actively looking around, they wouldn't have seen me. So nobody scolded me that day. And honestly, I feel like, at least on the reservation, hopefully they don't care about something as small and stupid as a little Asian girl throwing fetch with her dog. So I'm going to stop by there after. And honestly, the drive up there is so beautiful too, because it's like snaking through the mountains and stuff. But let's see. It's 12:56, so I feel like I might still have to wait 9 minutes or something before he gets here. Oh yeah, and unfortunately, one thing that might be a big deal for me for this place is that there is no parking. It's just street parking, and since I have my motorcycle now, I don't think I can settle for a place that doesn't have a garage because it's a new bike. I don't want to park it on the street. That would be terrible. So right now at my house, right now at my rental house, even though I don't actually use a garage, he has like a little gate that leads to a back area where he usually parks his truck, and that's kind of what you see in my videos, that back area where I play fetch with her a little bit. That's where I park my bike, so it's not visible to the public. It's just hidden off in the back, and that's good enough for me. So someplace like this, you can hear the sounds because I have my windows open for Riley for when I go out, but it's right next to a pretty busy road, and that is not good. I don't think my dad necessarily understands how important the right living space is for me, because he always really emphasizes stuff like me throwing away rent every month. I'm throwing away $21.75 in rent every month. That's true, but I can't move to a condo like this because it is going to lower my quality of life, and my quality of life for me is really, really important. It is like number one maybe for importance for me. I can't think of what else might be up there, but that one is something I've always placed very highly. That's why I've never lived with anyone. My parents have said numerous times throughout the years that I've lived in situations where I could live with someone else, like at my previous condo in New Jersey. Plenty of space for a roommate. I could have saved a lot of money if I split the rent, but then that means I have to share everything. I have to share my TV. I have to share my living space. I have to worry about how this person interacts with my pets. So it just makes for a not very good situation. I refuse to live with anyone unless they are really in sync with me in terms of, you know, my values, my pets, and respecting my space. And I actually don't know how comfortable I would feel living with someone unless we had like two separate stuff, like two TVs, because I just feel really weird about wanting to use the TV and then they're using it, and then how do you decide what happens, right? I know you can compromise, but you know, when you have your own place, even if you're sharing it with someone, I don't want to have to worry about stuff like that. Good job. Yeah, good. Ready? Go. Calm. Good. Good girl. Good job. Woo, good. Okay. Showing for where I am. Yeah, Riley's panting real hard. So, over there, you hear the baseball and everything going on over there. I pretty much played fetch with her on the other side of that, but today it is packed over there, so I pretty much wrapped around. I drove down this way, saw a little intersection down there, came over here, and turns out there's this nice barren area that I brought her to play fetch. I think that is, I'm not sure what building that is, but I had people, like one person drive by, and he was actually in a Barona truck. So once again, I feel like they just know that I'm freaking bothering nobody in the middle of nowhere over here. So I was able to get in some nice fetch with the puppers. Damn, I need to get her some water ASAP. Good girl. Hopefully she drinks all of it this time. Milo, Samuel. Come on, guys. Oh, Milo's the first one. Here comes Samuel. been running around a lot lately, so I only have 2 more days of vacation. Monday I technically work, but I mentioned that I have the opportunity to work from home that day because my orientation is done online. And then I actually have to ask my manager about my office hours to see if I can go in later so I can skip traffic. Although, yeah, there would still be a good amount of traffic, I think. Yes, Dota 2 calls. Time to play. Okay, right now I have a ton of dinner cooking, and there's a lot of potatoes, asparagus, and shrimp in there, so I kind of need to let it sit and slowly cook everything since I want the potatoes to soften. But while I do that, I'll just, no, go back. Down here. Good. So Riley just got up, but since I didn't actually give her an obedience command, I didn't correct her for that. But anyways, I bought a few things. Why not show you guys? So the first thing I bought was an Amazon Basics laptop sleeve, but I plan on using this for my books, my hardcover books, because when I take them out, I want to protect them, right? So it'll be nice to put them in here. I bought, this one's 12 inches, so it should be able to fit most hardcovers that I buy, or paperbacks, either way. So good to have. Next is something that I have needed for ages, and I need a scissor. Okay, so I bought a cell phone case that contains space for a wallet. So let's see, I need to take my old case off. Oh man, when you take the case off your phone, it feels so nice. It's like all glass and it feels so great. And then it's so sad when you need to put the case back on because then it just feels all crappy. There's a freaking mirror on it, which I don't need, but whatever, in case I ever want to stare at myself, which I rarely care to do. So maybe put this in here. All right, looks like it's like this. And oh, my wallet is in my car, so I will have to put my driver's license and my credit card in these slots just to make sure. But I do actually like this. Usually in the past I wasn't too fond of having to do this first before you're able to use your phone. But you know what? To never forget my wallet again, it's worth it. And it's pink. You guys know how much I love my pink. So, phone case, got it now. All right, my last item. This is probably not thrilling for anybody, but in case, and I like to share. People know I like to share. Okay, so maybe later, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow, but I mentioned a pair of shears because I want to trim my own hair. I mentioned before that I really love long hair. The main reason I cut my hair short a couple months back was to maintain the health of my hair, because there's no point in having long hair if your ends are just disgusting, very dry and like burnt and like curly like pubes. So I have been getting it trimmed every week, but I really don't feel like my hair is growing out because I think they're cutting more than they need to. And they're like charging me $55, and with tip it's like $60. So I don't want to be spending that much money when all I want is maintenance. That's it. I don't care about my style because I don't really want anything fancy with my hair anymore. Maybe if it's long, I will get a style, but for now, my goal is just to grow my hair out, and it's not. So I will try to trim my hair. I've never really cut my hair before, but honestly, my idea is just that I'm gonna section my hair, like, and do layer by layer, just trimming the ends off, like, angle it down and trim. Like, shouldn't be too bad. I don't know, I hope not. But if it fails, then whatever, I tried at least, right? These scissors were less than $20, so Sometimes you want to self-sustain, right? You don't want to have to pay for service every single time. Sometimes it's good to learn and do it yourself.